You guys, thank you so much. Welcome to our Monday night call. We're really excited to have you here. And just thanks for taking this time. I know it's crazy times right now. I feel like it's back to school for some of us, but not for some of us. I feel like the US is back to school. Am I right on that? But Canada is not. Am I right? Am I wrong? US is back to school. I don't know. Either way, I feel like people are talking about back to school. I'm like, that sounds stressful. So here in Canada, it is not back to school. We have another little bit for that. So thank you for taking the time to come on this Zoom tonight, you guys. I'm so excited. We have an incredible guest, Jessica. You guys, I'm just gonna give a quick intro on like why I wanted her on, and then we're just gonna like go into it. So I have been following Jess. I know a lot of you guys have on, TikTok, Instagram. I see her literally everywhere. And I just keep watching all the success that she's having. And if I've learned anything about this business, it's that success leaves clues. Yeah. So without further ado, Jess, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here tonight. I'm going to spotlight you, and we are just really excited to pick your brain. I'm actually really excited to hear your story, hear a little bit about you, and we're really just going to dive into the questions. So if you could just take a minute and share, like how did you find this business? Like, what was your story before it works?
My name is Jess. So, before this business, wow, where does it start? So I guess I'll start from even before I was in this business. But I had never heard of It Works or network marketing or anything like that before I even started. But I'm going to start with, I feel like something that is very key about my story that maybe a lot of people don't know, but I played softball my whole life. I was always given a schedule. I was always supposed to be here doing this at this time from the moment that I was like 7 years old until I played Division I softball. And so up into college, I was always given a schedule, where to go, where to be, what to wear, what to act like, what to dress like, what to talk like, all of the things, literally my entire life. And so I remember when I graduated, I'm like, this is it. I just got my degree. I was a full-time geologist. I just landed my first full-time job right after college as a geologist. And I was like, this is it. Like, I'm going to live life. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. I'm going to have money. Obviously, playing sports in college, I was super busy. I couldn't have a job at the time anyways, because the university wouldn't allow it. But I was just like broke, living off my parents and like whatever my grandparents would give me. So I was like, I'm rich now because I have time and I have money. But I started my full-time job as a geologist that I went to school for, spent a lot of time and a lot of money on, and the paychecks started to roll in, and I'm like, what is this? I can't even afford to move out. I was living in my parents' basement. And so I knew that I needed more. So I was like, okay, let me pick up a part-time job as a softball coach. So I was working full-time as a geologist from like 7:30 to 5 every single day. Some days were a little bit longer just in the work that I did, but I was working like 50 to 60 hours a week, 5 to 7 days a week, just depending on what it was. But the kicker was I would turn in my timesheet every single week, and my manager would kick it back and not let me submit it unless it said 40 hours. I'm like, but dude, I worked 60 this week. And they're like, no, you're not allowed to log that. So I was working like 60 hours a week, only getting paid for 40. But I was like, whatever, like there's nothing I can do. I needed extra money because I wanted to move out of my parents' house so bad. And I picked up a part-time job as a softball coach. So I would literally wake up in the morning at like 6 a.m., go to my 9 to 5. But I was working around heavy machinery all the time, so I couldn't be on my phone much. I would work there until I was off. I would race home as fast as I could, change, put whatever I could in my mouth, eat, immediately head to the softball field. And this was a cycle 5 days a week. And then on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I was doing softball on those 2 days too. So I wanted to emphasize that because I was so busy when I first started this opportunity. But even though I was doing all of that, it was still not enough. I still couldn't afford my bills, what little bills I did have. I still couldn't pay them. I definitely couldn't afford to move out. I remember looking at apartments and they were like $800 a month. And I was like, oh my God, like I wish apartments were $800 a month now, but I was like, I can't afford that. Like there's no way, there's nothing extra. And so I was scrolling on Instagram one day, just like we do. A girl actually cold messaged me. I ignored her, but what I immediately did was I went to her story and I viewed her story, and she was talking about the opportunity. It was like the opportunity slides. Honestly, you guys, I don't care. I don't care if she was like just joined yesterday or joined 100 years ago and was making $100,000. Like I saw there's an opportunity to make money, and I ended up joining immediately. Didn't really care to ask any questions. I just wanted to make money. And I literally started immediately. I had I want to say it was a very slow start, but once it started for me. So it took me like a month and a half to sign my first customer. It took me 2 months to sign my first distributor. But one thing that I did that really helped me in my business, and I want to mention this because it's coming up, I joined in December and I went to conference in January. Like literally a month and a half after I joined, I ended up going to conference. So that changed everything for me. I was already like obsessed with the opportunity, obsessed with everyone in it, saw what it could do for me, but just being there, seeing everyone in real life, it was just that much more life-changing, I guess. And I ended up leaving conference, signed my first distributor at conference, actually, because I joined on December 7th and it was at the end of January. So about 2 months in, signed my first distributor at conference, left conference, ended up going Ruby in February, executive in Ruby in February, Emerald in March, and then I kind of sat there. So it took me a while to get the fire, got the fire, was like on fire. And then I sat at Emerald for 10 months. So I pushed for Diamond so hard, month after month after month. You know, I went executive in Ruby and then I went Emerald the next month. Like I'm on top of the world. I'm like, we're going Diamond next. And we didn't. And we didn't do the next month. And we didn't do the next month. And we didn't do it the next month. And I felt like I was having kind of like the spinning wheel of a new Emerald team every single month. But what I learned in that time of pushing from Emerald to Diamond has stuck with me in what has allowed me to do what I've been doing today. But it just taught me a lot about myself, a lot about leadership, a lot about being there for your girls and it not being all about you. And so the moment that I stopped making it all about me was the moment that everything changed. And I remember I ended up losing Emerald down to Ruby one month. It was November 31st. I'll never forget, or 30th, whatever it was. This is the last day of November. I lost Emerald down to Ruby and I was like, this is it. Like, I cannot do this anymore. So I ended up getting within 500 VV of Diamond in December, went Diamond in January at conference on the 25th. 2 months later, went double. I've been able to do so much because of this business. I know I didn't mention this, but I left my full-time job as a geologist 6 months after joining. Between fast starts and my commissions, I was able to make up for it. 6 months after that, right as I hit Diamond, and then I went double. So that was about 6 months after I left my 9-to-5. I retired my boyfriend from his 9-to-5, and we are originally from Kentucky. So we picked up, moved out of my parents' basement all the way down here to Florida. We went debt free right before we moved to Florida. I paid off all of my student loans, all of his student loans, all of our car loans. We just went completely debt free before we moved here. We obviously didn't have any furniture, so we got a beautiful apartment, furnished the entire thing in cash. We have 2 little fur babies. We travel so much. We actually just bought our dream car in cash a couple of months ago. And we've just been able to kind of live the life that I used to daydream about before I started this opportunity. And I would just like sit there and look on Instagram and I'm like, oh, I wish I could travel. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. We get to live that life and we get to help so many girls on my team do the exact same thing.
Dang, that was really good. I'm like, whoa, okay. You guys, like, who's fired up by that? You said so many things there that I just want to kind of go deeper into. First of all, congratulations. That's amazing. Now, I heard you say something that I know a lot of people relate to. And you said that when you were working as a geologist, you were working like full time, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Does anybody relate to that? Drop a 2 in the chat if you're finding yourself needing the results from this business, but you're pressed for time, right? Like you're just, man, I'm busy. Now, I'd love if you can touch on what you did to make this work, because at the end of the day, like time management is a, people struggle with it. And the biggest excuse we hear, I don't have the time. So how do you, not being able to be on your phone, working full time, get the results to grow this business? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, so I was actually working 2 jobs, 70 to 80 hours a week, 7 days a week. So press for time was literally my middle name. But I made it a priority. You guys, I got up 30 minutes early. I went to bed 30 minutes late. I always say this and it's like funny and it's a joke, but I had like designer bags under my eyes for 6 months. And it's funny, but it was true. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Did I lose out on sleep? Yeah, but what did I gain from it? I gained what I have now from what I did then. And so I just made it a priority. I would get up a little bit early. I would get my stories out. I would get some follows, some messages out. Any free break that I had, I would go pee. I don't know. People probably thought I had like UTIs all the time or something. Like it's too much to ask about. Like people would not like say something like, Jess, why are you in the bathroom for 5 minutes every time you go? And like nobody's gonna ask you that. But I would like take advantage of that. I would literally come to work a little bit early and sit in the parking lot. That way I had like undivided time with myself, just sitting in my car. Literally any free break that I had, I was doing something. And even though my schedule was kind of all over the place, I had non-negotiables that I would do throughout the day. I would get out my, at the time, cold messaging was huge whenever I first started it. And that's what we did. You guys, now we have TikTok, we have Reels, we have Host to Post, we have all these things that get to work in the background while you're still living your everyday life. I did not have that. I had cold messaging, posting on my story, and that was literally it when I first started. And I was able to find my success and find the time to do those, which are very time consuming. Now you have a video. You guys can pre-record videos on the weekends and have them ready to post all throughout the week. It takes you 2 seconds, right? And that could blow up and bring you tons of messages. Or you can get Host to Post rolling out in the morning before you go to work, and then they're working all day long. And when you get home, boom, you're signing customer after distributor after customer. And so making it a priority. How bad do you want it? Do you want to continue to live the life that you live right now where you're so busy and you don't have the time for X, Y, and Z? If you want to keep living that life, which I know that you don't, which is why you said yes to this opportunity, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you don't, make this a priority, because I'm not just some lucky person who was able to find success in this. If anything, there's far more people who have seen far more success with far busier schedules. And it doesn't come down to luck. It just comes down to hard work and showing up and being consistent and making it a priority.
Yeah, I mean, everything you say there, like it just keeps repeating. You guys, discipline. It's just being disciplined with your time. It's not about like time. You can't slow down, back up. Like you can't do anything with it. It literally is just, it is what it is. And so how disciplined are you with your time? And whenever I look at people that are successful in this industry, the mindset is always, it takes what it takes, like you literally can make, I just believe you can make money or you can make excuses, and so just whatever it takes. I'm 30 minutes, up earlier, later, I'm sacrificing. I think sometimes, in like today's world, the term like entrepreneur, if you find it's kind of like everyone's an entrepreneur, it's like a trending word, but when you actually hear, no, there's sacrifice. There's like being willing to fail. Nobody talks about, or no, you don't see, like we see your success, but we don't see that you were sitting at Emerald for a year. Like it's all these things that people struggle with and they just continue, they just persevere. So, at the beginning of this business, I feel that you run on vision, right? At the beginning, you run on your vision before you have success and you don't know what the future holds. You didn't know that you were going to be a top enroller and a top income earner in this company. What did you do to get the vision for this, that you could persevere with like faith that if you stayed the course, you would have success?
So it's funny that you say that because I didn't know, but I knew. I knew that it would happen because I knew that I would do anything in my power to make it happen, and time would tell. So I remember, when I first got into self-development because of this opportunity, I was watching this video, and it was this guy. He was like severely overweight, but he wanted to be a model for Nike. Like he was like you would look at him, you'd be like, dude, no way. But he knew that it would happen. And one of the things that he said in that video that has stuck with me for 3.5 years that I've been in this business is, it's already happened. Time just hasn't caught up yet. And so what are you going to do to continue to make time catch up faster and faster and faster? And for me, it was putting in the work every single day. I already knew that I would be, a top enroller, a top income earner in the company. Time just hadn't caught up yet. And I made sure that what I did every single day was going to make that happen. Another thing that I did was I used my why at the time was just quitting my job. All I wanted to do was quit my job because honestly, I wanted nothing more than to just have that freedom that, as you guys heard in the beginning of my story, I've never had my entire life. And so all that I wanted to do was quit my job. But instead of using my job, being busy, having a bad day, my boss being like a turd or whatever, like instead of using that as an excuse not to work my business, I used it as even more fuel to the fire of why I had to get out, why I had to leave, why I had to work harder, why I had to stay up later, why I had to get up earlier, why I had to take longer bathroom breaks, why I had to do it. So I used my why as my fire rather than finding ways to use my why as my excuse.
Dang, I love that you said that. And you guys, how often do we see that in this business? Maybe you've done it, right? Like I know that I've definitely done that, right? Where you have this reason as to why you're here. Just like she said, you didn't join this because you joined this for a reason, right? More time, more money, more freedom, more options, whatever it is. And how many of us get into a place of complacency where we realize that the reason that we joined this business, our debt, our, maybe we're stressed, our lack of time, our kids now become our reason why we can't. So good. Okay, so I have like 2 pages of notes already. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So, okay, you said that so you pushed from Ruby to Emerald. You were stuck in the wheel of Emerald for a bit. And you guys, I want you to think about this in your promotions. Maybe it's not Emerald for you. Maybe it's getting your first 4-in-1. Maybe it's Ruby. Maybe it's Diamond. Maybe it's double, triple, whatever it is for you. What changed to take you out of this spinning hamster wheel of getting the same results and like sticking at Emerald to then promoting to Diamond? Like what in you and your action changed?
I think just mentally deciding like enough is enough. And there's a difference between deciding enough is enough and like actually deciding enough is enough. Because like I said, I'll never forget, it was the very last day of November, like 1:00 in the morning Eastern, because that was the last day of the month, last minute of the month. And I remember just like bawling in my bathroom because I just wanted to be Diamond so bad. And in that moment, I'm like, literally enough is enough. I'll do whatever I need. And in that moment is also when I started Facebook. So what would that be for you guys? For me, I didn't have a Facebook before this opportunity. So I started a Facebook, I started working on it, and I'll never forget, it was like enrollment after enrollment after enrollment. So what's it going to be for you? Is it going to be, okay, I'm going to finally start doing reels consistently? Whatever it is, make sure it's you doing it consistently, because how bad do you want that 4-in-1? How bad do you want that promotion? How bad do you want that success bonus? How bad do you want that, paycheck with a comma in it? Whatever it may be, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to start doing something that you should be doing that you haven't been doing? Because for me, it wasn't bad enough until it was bad enough. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start working Facebook. A lot of people are seeing results from it. And to be honest with you guys, I literally didn't know anything about Facebook. I just copied people. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do it. And I think that was my fear of starting Facebook for so long was I don't know what I'm doing. Like no one on my team uses Facebook. What am I supposed to do? And so I was like, I'm just going to do it and copy the people that I know who do it. And maybe I'll put my own little twist on it. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't know what Facebook host post was. Had no idea. It was 2019. I didn't know what Facebook host post was. And I eventually learned. But I started by just cold messaging and showing up on my Facebook and going live and doing uncomfortable things. And so when you decide enough is enough, you'll start doing the things that you haven't been doing that you know could change your business the same way that it's changed so many that you watch on these Zooms or that you see on Facebook or that you see, being shouted out and all of these things. You'll start doing the things that they're doing that you haven't started doing yet.
So good. And I feel like we all have these things. Like, drop it in the chat. What is it for you? Is it live video? Is it personal development? You're like, I know I should be, but I'm not. Is it HAP consistently? You can drop it. Don't be shy. Let's let everybody know that we're on the same page. Live videos, lives, messaging, live. I need to do live. It's okay. So you guys, you hear that she was in the same position. She wanted more. She wanted the next level. Guess what? Sometimes the next level simply requires a new version of us that's willing to step out of our comfort zone. And I think so many of us get paralyzed by fear, right? I don't know how to use Facebook. By the way, that's how I know I'm way older than you. Because you're like, I'm like, oh man, here it is. It's one of those, this is like the situation where it's like, dang, just joking. But we're scared of it, right? We're the unknown, the fear. And you guys, don't let the fear hold you back, because the reality is like the action is going to give you the skill to give results. You're not going to read a book on how to do a live video and get good at it. You're going to do the live video, suck at it again, be awful. Your ego is going to hurt, and then you're going to get better, and you're going to get better over time. So I love that you said that. Now I want to transition into, I was going to ask if I could ask you this, and then I forgot. So I'm just going to ask you, let's give us some like average, like, what are your enrollments like? I know that you enroll a lot, right? Like, I just want someone to have vision for, like, you're not enrolling 4 customers a month. Like, what are your averages? Tell us about your success bonuses that you've earned. And then we're going to go into some questions around that.
Okay. So enrollments, I would say now I'm going to say they're low, but to someone it's going to sound super high. But average, I bring in now like 30 customers a month, 15 distributors. But a couple, I would say maybe like a year or two ago, I was averaging I was close to 100 customers a month and like 20 something distributors in a month. But what has changed? And even though I was bringing in all of those customers and all of those distributors, my volume is 3 times what it was back then, even though I was the same rank, simply because my enrollments may be lower, but my team's enrollments are higher. I started spending more time with my team, and that's been a huge thing that has just exploded my team, but exploded my team's enrollments too, was because it came back to that moment where it's not all about me anymore. It's not all about my paycheck. It's not all about my successes. It's about my girls, because I joined this to change my life. Have I changed my life? Absolutely. Would I like to change my life more? Absolutely. But what's going to be sweeter? Being there with my whole family of girls on my team, or just me being there alone? And not me being there alone. I don't want to be there alone. I want to be there with my team. And so spending more time with them, loving on them, it may seem like, oh, things are going slower because my enrollments are lower. No, things are going to skyrocket because your team is winning. And when your team is winning, then you win with them.
Okay, I love that. I want to couple things. We're gonna like stick here for a second because there was a lot of great points in that. So the first thing I want to ask is, guys, 30 LCs and 15 DTs. You're like, that's low. Like, no, that's amazing. Like, 100 LCs, 20 DTs. Like, that's incredible numbers, you guys. That's like, I need you to understand. That's like building a diamond close to emerald in a month. Like, these are insane numbers. So talk to us about, like, what are you doing consistently to bring these enrollments in? Like, where are your enrollments funneling from? What platform, what actions?
All the places. If you guys follow me, you see me everywhere because I'm everywhere. So every month, I feel like every day it varies, day to day, week to week, month to month. A lot of times they'll come from TikTok. You guys get results with the products. Our products are obviously amazing. I lost 30 pounds. I share those results all over TikTok. all over TikTok, and I get a ton of customers there. I also just share the business opportunity on TikTok. I get a ton of distributors there. But I also do it on Instagram. I do it on Instagram stories. I do it on Instagram reels. I do it on Instagram feed, sharing, life posts. Life posts are so important. I also do it on Facebook. I do live posts on Facebook. I do Facebook reels. I do Facebook host to post. It everywhere. I get them when I tell you guys I do all the things, I literally do all the things, because if I'm going to expect my team to do Instagram, to do TikTok, to do reels, to do Facebook host posts, to do live posts, I have to do them too. I can't tell my girl, hey, go do this. I don't do it, but you do it. No, I have to do it too. And so I literally do it all. A lot come from TikTok as far as customers. A lot of customers come from Facebook as well. Facebook host posts, Facebook reels. A lot of distributors come from Instagram reels, Instagram live posts, and TikTok. So I would say customers are like Facebook and TikTok. Distributors are like TikTok and Instagram.
I love it. And guys, here's the thing. When people see you everywhere, it builds up relevancy for one, but trust. You know what I mean? Like I like know your life watching you. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I know what you use. Like, I know what products you use. I know your results. I know that you lost weight with these products. I know you have an awesome life. I know you live in Florida. My question to you guys on this call is, if we were to look at your page, would we know you? Right? Because remember, we don't relate through business. We don't relate through, oh, I took coffee, right? We relate through, I'm a dog mom, you're a dog mom. I live in Florida, you live in Florida. I'm a Canadian mom, you're a Canadian mom. This is this interest, this is my interest. There's relatability. And so when you're everywhere and you literally don't give people the opportunity to not see you, guys, this is how your business grows. So many of us are stuck in the mindset of, oh, they'll just let me know if they're interested. You have to like own what you're doing. Like, you have to be the person in front of them. And that is what I see with Jess. Like, I'm like, dude, every time I open my phone, there she is. Like, that is what is getting these results. And if you haven't looked at her reels, like, they're like, your reels are pretty, like, they're simple, like, they're good. They're just like quick little intro, picture. Like, you're not spending probably, there's a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, I could never, do all these crazy things. Like, they're just short, sweet, to the point, and obviously you're getting amazing results. So you're getting them for everything. And so can you quickly touch on, like, okay, let's say somebody was to comment on like a business reel, let's just say, what is your flow? Like, are you getting them to Facebook? Are you getting them to Instagram? Like, how are you closing them?
It depends on where they are. If they're on Facebook, I keep everything on Facebook, so I'll send them to Messenger. If they're on TikTok, I flow everyone to my Instagram, just because you can link your little Instagram in your TikTok. So I funnel everybody to Instagram from TikTok. On Instagram Reels, I literally just funnel everyone to my messages. Just that simple.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now I'd love to speak about to speak about what you did. And I saw this question come in a few times. You said that your volume tripled just by you kind of taking it off, like, hey, it's not just about me. I'm going to spend more time with my girls. I want to duplicate. What did that look like? Because I know there's people right now that feel like, hey, I can enroll, but like, how do I teach my team to enroll? Can you spend time walking us through what you did?
Yeah, so it really started when 4-in-1 hit, and I feel like 4-in-1 was like an answered prayer. But how many of us let's just go with one. How many of us enroll a girl, we get them to their $150 bonus, and we maybe do it ourselves for them, and then we're like, all right, go Ruby on your own. I'll talk to you later, until you go Ruby, and then you go back to your leaders, right? So for so long, I felt like when girls would get their shopping spree, it was just like, okay, what's next? How do I, take them to the next level to Ruby? And, some of them aren't sticking around. So I got into this cycle of like, okay, whatever, like I'll get you to a $400 where you need to be. If you stick, great. But if not, whatever. So when 4-in-1 hit, I'm like, this is going to bridge the gap to so many promotions, because you can make 150 over and over and over again. And if you're new on here, girlfriend, you can make $150 over and over and over again, not to mention the $350 bonuses that go along with it. So you can be making $500 in your very first month just by showing up, staying close to your leader and working closely with them, because I know that they probably want to work closely with you. But what I started doing was spending more time texting with my girls, staying up with them, having one-on-one calls with them, getting to know them, getting to know their personal life. That way, we have girls who join us and then life hits them and we don't even really know them. So we don't know how to help them. So we're just kind of like, what do you mean you're not going to work because of blah, blah, blah. But like when you get to know them, you get to help them understand them on a deeper level and keep them going. But the more personal relationship that I built with my girls, they just started doing what I was doing. I was obviously still doing all things. I wasn't obviously enrolling as much, but they just started to do what I do. My girls show up on TikTok. My girls show up on Reels, on Facebook, on Instagram, on live posts, on stories, showing their face on stories without me even having to tell them at first. Like my leaders started to do the things, or my emerging leaders started to doing the things that I did, because I got to know them, because I started spending more time with them, texting them. If you text one of your new girls in the beginning of the day and you guys text a little bit and then she doesn't respond, are you just gonna leave her till the next day? For me, no. I'm gonna text her at noon. What's up, dude? What are you doing? Yeah, you eat lunch? What are you eating? And then like just building that friendship with them, instead of just kind of like, oh, when you become a leader, then we can be friends, right? No, like you just press submit, you just paid, $150, started your business, we're besties. Like, let's get to know each other. And just, doing that and making them feel comfortable. Not everybody needs that to be successful. Like for me, I didn't care if anyone was my best friend, I was going to be successful. But the average normal person needs that. They need that community. And that's one of the things that we preach about this opportunity that's so amazing, is the community. Build it, build your team as a community. We have amazing leaders, but we can also have a community within our team as well.
No, I love that. So how do you enrolling 15 to 20 distributors a month, like that's a lot. And obviously as you're enrolling and you have your existing team and it's month after month and you're keeping on top of your business, like how do you manage that? How do you manage like your like DMO, like your daily method?
It's a lot to manage, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My leaders, I know that they're on here, so they can probably attest to this. I feel like for my leaders, I started to give them leader things to do. Show up in our chats. We have a chat with all of our new girls, like on our team, all of our new girls, not just mine, that have at least enrolled a distributor. And we send them tasks, not just me, my leaders. I feel like I have like conditioned them to be me's. It's just a bunch of me's on my team. And some of them, and a lot of them enroll more than I do, but I've conditioned them to show up as, you're like the number one income earner on our team, and teach our team what you're doing that works, and just like making it an equal playing ground is what I've kind of done for my leaders. And just, I got pushed into a leadership role with like no idea what I was doing. I got pushed into a leadership role with, not a lot of people around me to help me with it. And so I feel like for my team, I've just made everyone so close. Like I have my leaders and I don't even have to talk to them every single day. A lot of them I do, but they just kind of like, they know what's up. But we're also connected because we're obviously in chats together and things like that. But just conditioning them to be and to grow as a leader, I feel like that's what I've done. I don't even know. It's kind of hard to explain, but just giving them things to do that I would normally do. Like in our chat, we have a daily task list. We do a Facebook poll every single day because we have our chat in Facebook. And I gave one of my leaders, I'm like, hey, do this every single morning. And she does it. And so I feel like our team is like, we're just like a bunch of like minions that work so well together. And we each have our tasks that make our team what it is and how amazing that it is. Because we all have like what we're good at and our tasks and stuff like that. And as funny as it sounds, like we just kind of like blend together and we work seamlessly, like a little, yeah, just we work together really well.
No, I love that. And everyone's like, Minions. Yeah, I love it. Listen, and they just came out too. That's like a movie. That's like a thing right now. My kids are talking about it. Okay, so I love that you do that in a big team chat because I think the value in that is different people see different leaders, right? Like we're so quick to be like with our own team, right? Like you enroll someone and they enroll people, like, but there's value in not only other people, like you getting to learn from other people, but also there's value in people seeing, like your team seeing that other people listen to you, and like, you know what I mean? Sometimes do you ever find that like you say something to your team and then they're like, oh, whatever, and then someone else says it and you're like, dude, I've been saying that for like 5 years. So I feel there's a lot of value in that. So I love that. Okay, so let me ask you this. What are your non-negotiables every single day? What's your your kill list? I will not go to bed until this is done.
A couple of things. First of all, obviously, I'm a leader, talking to my team, especially my team that's in it, my new girls who have enrolled in the last, I would say like 6 months, non-negotiable, talking to them, seeing what they need help with. It's gotten to the point I always tell them, like, please blow me up. Like, if you wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm not up yet, like, just blow me up. I'll wake up and I'll text you back. So talking with them, checking in with them. Second is posting on my stories, y'all. I have been doing this for 3.5 years. There's not been a single day that I have not posted on my story. No matter how crazy the day. Like I flew to Hawaii like 2 summers ago, and that's like a 12-hour flight from Florida. I did not miss posting on my stories. I post my coffee, I post the business, and I post another product every single day. I've been doing that for 3.5 years, have not missed a day, and I never will. That's a non-negotiable. Showing my face or showing my personal life on my story is a non-negotiable, because like you said, people are going to buy you before they ever buy the product. People are going to buy you before they ever buy the business. And if you're not showing you, that's why I also tell, if you're new on here and you're like, oh, should I start a new Instagram for this? Absolutely not. Because you're a normal person. And that's what makes what we do so special. That's what makes us different than Amazon. Because Amazon, I'm going to go to someone's, I don't know, storefront, and no one's here telling me, oh, hey, like this, I don't know, hair dryer, it was amazing. It did this, it did that. I have this type of hair like you do. Like we don't have that on Amazon, but we have that for our company. And that's what makes us special. They have someone who knows about the products, who uses the products, who has results that they can show, a plethora of results they can show about the products. We are real people, and we want to show people that we're real people, and we're not business all the time. And that's what makes joining this fun, is it's not business all the time. It's business, it's fun, it's personal, it's family, it's this, and then it's business again. You know what I mean? And so showing that. And so for anyone who's new, don't start a new Instagram. It's silly. And then posting on my feed a couple times a week on my Instagram and Facebook feed, live posts at least 3 to 4 times a week, non-negotiable. Posting TikToks, Reels, and Facebook Reels, at least one on every platform, at least one every single day, non-negotiable. And all of these things, you're probably like, holy freaking cow. You guys, I could probably knock out all of these things that I'm telling you in the first 30 minutes of my day. Obviously the stories like throughout the day, but they take like 2 seconds. Messaging, I will follow up. That's a non-negotiable. I follow up like a crazy person. I don't care. Amazon sends me 300 emails a day. Am I annoyed? No. So no one's going to be annoyed by me following up because I'm not annoyed by Amazon. So following up and then getting up host posts, I message and I try and get up as many host posts as I can every single day. Yeah, those are my non-negotiables.
You remind me of Courtney Bowman. Like listening to you talk, I'm like, you literally remind me of Courtney Bowman. That's so funny. Okay. Okay. One thing I wanted to say actually, when you said your stories, I really admire actually, I was thinking about this morning, your coffee chats. It's so smart. Like when you guys, if you don't follow her on her Instagram and you haven't seen this, she does coffee chats where she literally will make her coffee and just talk. And I'm like, it's so smart because like I see you all the time. And you guys, I think what people don't understand is it literally is the repetitiveness of what people see that moves them along further, right? Like I forget who said it. I think actually this was Courtney too. Kylie Jenner does not care that we've watched her swatch her lip colors 5 million times. Like, you know what I mean? But over time, you see it and you move further along. And so that's a really smart way you can incorporate products. Start a coffee chat. Actually, I'm probably gonna do that too. So thank you for the idea. I thought about it today. I'm like, that's really smart. Okay. Now, one thing that I wanted to ask you, okay, so messaging, cold messaging. You talk about cold messaging, and I love that you said, who's nervous to do messages? Like, just put it in the chat. You can put it too, okay? Now, you said that someone messaged you. I want you guys to think about this. Somebody messaged you. You ignored it, but then went to their story. So how many of us get upset when we message someone and we take 5 days off because they didn't answer, and you're all upset that, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh my gosh, they must think whatever, it's the end of the world. Meanwhile, Jessica's literally viewing this girl's story where she goes to enroll later because she planted the seed. Can you talk about like your method of messaging? Who are you messaging? How are you messaging? Like, can you talk about that for a sec?
Yeah, I message everyone. I don't care. I got over fear a long time ago. So every one of you guys who's afraid to send that message, whether it's a cold message about products, DT cold message, whether it's a TikTok, whether it's asking someone to host post for you, for all the fear out there, ask yourself this in this moment. And I actually want you guys to answer in the chat. If you were making $10,000 a month, would you be scared? If I told you, hey, you're making $10,000 a month, go cold message these people, would you be like, okay, I will not question, I'm going to go answer it? See, the answer is no. So the thing is with this business, in 6 months from now, you could be making $10,000 a month. It doesn't matter what your paycheck is right now. In 6 months from now, your paycheck could be $10,000 a month. If you're willing to do the things that you're so scared of. Fear is honestly just a lie from the enemy. And I trick myself by asking myself, okay, well, if I was making $100,000 a month, if I was like Steph and Joel, would I be scared to send this message? Hell no. So I'm going to send it. And I just kind of got over that fear by tricking myself into kind of coming back to reality that, it's not that scary. If they're going to say something nasty to me, if I'm making $10,000 a month, am I going to care how rude they are? No, I'm going to block them and move on. If I'm making $10,000 a month and they're telling me a scam when I know that this faith-based company just donated $2 million to pediatric cancer and $22 million worth of goods to Ukraine a couple of months ago, would a scam do that? No. And if I'm making $10,000 a month, I'm going to say, see you later and block you. It's just not going to matter. And that's how I got over fear of messaging. And I just, that's how I do it. I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of forgot about it.
No, it's so accurate. Like, you guys, fear doesn't feed your family. At the end of the day, like, don't go through your life and at the end of it say, oh, well, I mean, I played small, but at least I didn't piss off my Facebook friend. Like, who cares? Your block list is your best friend. Like, this is your space. I think people forget that. It's your space. Like, people are coming into your space. If they don't like what you're doing, they can leave. It's crazy, right? Okay, I got 3 more questions. I know this is so good, by the way. I think I'm like so fired up about this. I got 3 more questions for you. So first thing, lots of brand new people on this team. They don't have a success story yet. They want to grow and enroll distributors. What would you say for them to start posting to attract distributors before they've had success yet?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. And that's why I told you part of my story in the beginning. I didn't care if the girl who messaged me had just started yesterday. She posted about making an extra income, and that is all that I cared about. Obviously, there's people out there who want to talk to every mother trucker in this business who's made a dime to make sure it's going to work for them. But there are so many people out there that are just like me, especially this day and age, who just want to make money. That's all they want to do. And you have an opportunity that's been around for 22 years, feeding people's families, paying people's bills. It's obviously it can work for them. Just putting out there the opportunity and the perks. You guys, we have a $4,000 bonus for everybody who's new. And might I add, it's really freaking simple and easy to earn it. And unlimited $150 and $350 bonuses. We did not have that whenever I joined. All I saw was, hey, you can make money from your phone, and I was sold. That's all that I needed to hear. But we have so many perks. You don't need a success story. If you needed a success story to be successful, nobody would be successful in this company, because nobody started with a success story. We started with the opportunity to make money, and we found success over time. But for me, my first distributors didn't join my team because I was successful. I joined 2 months ago, and they were my first distributor, and they just wanted to make money. And what I talked about is where I was going. I would make posts about being able to quit my job. Even to this day, I will post stories about, our next big dream is buying or building a house down here in Florida. Market is freaking insane, right? But I talk about that on my stories. I talk about the yard I'm going to have for my dogs. I'm going to talk about the swimming pool that my dogs are going to love so much. I talk about the house that I'm going to build because of this opportunity. I would talk about in the beginning, because of this opportunity, I'm going to quit my job. I just left work. It was awful. I'm so glad I have this opportunity, because I'm going to be able to quit this job. Like, I'm going to replace my income as a full-time geologist with this opportunity. I would talk about where I was going, and I would just talk about the perks. And you need an extra $500 a month. Baby, I can teach you that in like 5 seconds. And just talking about the perks of this opportunity. If you look at any of my TikToks lately, I don't think I've really posted about what I've done in the business for months. Because what blows up on TikTok, literally just the straight facts. Hey, you struggling to pay your gas and groceries and living paycheck to paycheck? Hey, we have this $4,000 bonus, DM me. And that's like literally the extent of the 5-second video. But my videos where I'm like, oh, I've done this, this, and this, it's like 3 views. So people, that's just proof. There's proof in the pudding that people just want the facts. Oh, you can make money? Sign me up.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's those short little ones. And you guys, that's like the algorithm working in your favor, because by the time they've watched that short little video, it's already replaying to the next. You know what I mean? Like, it's cycling, and now it's just so good. Okay, 2 more questions. You have very like your niche, like you've niched down. Like, just watching your profile, I know lots of things about you, right? I know you live in Florida. I know you have dogs. Like, I know these things about you. I know you talk about hot girl greens in the morning, like literally things I just watch you do. Like, you're so good at what you do. Now, niching, you guys, for anyone that's new, I want you to think about it this way, okay? You can't talk to everyone. You might not relate to Jess. You might not relate to me. You might be nothing like either of us, okay? But the point is there are people out there that are looking for you, okay? So it is finding who you're talking to and who you connect with through your posts that allow you to be relatable, that now build trust and interaction and giving you results in this business. Now, what would be your advice for someone that's like, hey, I don't even know what my niche is? Like, how do I find my people?
That's so good, because I know that I niched down, but I never intentionally tried to. I just started being myself. I would call greens hot girl greens to my best friend. I'm gonna be like, girl, you need these hot girl greens. And so I do that on my story. I live in Florida. That in itself is just a personality trait. Okay. Think about, you're with your best friend and you're joking with each other, and you're like, we always say like, oh, that's like a personality trait, and we joke about it. Florida. Oh, that's your personality trait. Think about your personality traits. What makes you you? I live in Florida. I have 2 white crusty dogs. I'm gonna talk to everyone like they're my best friend. I have a boyfriend that I've been with since we were like little freaking kids. We've been together for like literally forever. I have things like that make me. And so start showing up as yourself. And if you start showing your everyday life, you're going to in turn niche down because people are going to see you. And that's why I feel like a lot of girls who join me are just like me, just simply because when I show up on my stories, when I show up in my posts, I'm just me, and you're going to get all of me. And that's what helps me bring in more me's.
I love that. Okay, my last question for you. This has been so good. All these questions are all over the place. We're just jumping around. Okay, follow up. You say you follow up a lot. What's your method? I know there's a lot of people out there that plant the seeds, they have the conversations, they'll put the videos out, they'll do the haps, but then they forget the harvest and they don't follow up. What is your strategy for that?
Yeah, I have a 5-step follow-up. It's the same one that Nate does, but basically just pick 5 follow-up messages that you love. And I will follow up with people 5 days in a row. And then after that, I don't just stop, but I'll just like save them for a rainy day or save them for like a promotion, if that makes sense. Like, oh, we have the back to school, so I'll send out a mass follow-up with that. I do it over Instagram. The way that I do it over Instagram, though, is because I do get a lot of messages from Instagram. I will go to Instagram on my computer, and you're able to see a preview of the last message that you sent. We used to be able to see a preview on our apps, on our phones. We can't anymore. You can see a preview on your computer Instagram. So I'll send follow-ups that way on there. On Facebook, I will search keywords, or like the day prior, I'll just go to whoever I talked to, follow up with them. If I followed up with someone yesterday and I see them today and I'm on day 3 of my follow-up, I'm going to send them day 4. Distributors, a lot of them, I end up getting their numbers. So I'm really bad. I have a bad habit of saving numbers. I need to be better, but I'll search keywords that are in my scripts. So I say VIP spot a lot in my distributor scripts. So I'll search that in my messages and just follow up with people. And I just like follow up all the time. I follow up in the morning. I'll follow up at noon. I'll follow up in the afternoon. Do people fall through the cracks? Absolutely. I'm not perfect. I'm not a robot. I'm human. People fall through the cracks, but I'm always like messaging like randomly, like I have a lot of madness and there's not a lot of method to it. But like today, I was cold messaging my Instagram story like views. And I ended up seeing this girl that I talked to about the business like a week ago. And I was like, oh, I'm going to send her a DT follow-up. I forgot about her. And she ended up giving me her number and she's signing up next Friday. And so it's just like, I don't know, just like doing things like all the time. Like if I'm ever sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'm just not doing anything. I don't know what to do. I've already done everything. No, there's more that you can do. And talking to your enroller about that, hopping on power hours, seeing what other people do, I feel like is what has helped me a ton. Pick up these like little Easter eggs here and there, and just like showing up every single day. You don't have to be perfect, but be you and be consistent and be dedicated. Don't be motivated for your dreams. Don't be motivated for your goals. Be dedicated to them. Because when you're dedicated, like nothing can stop you. Nobody can stop you.
This is so good. And you guys also think that like when you post and you're consistent, that is also a form of follow-up, right? Follow-up doesn't just have to be, hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? It's okay, we're having those conversations, but then it's like, there she is again. There's her post again. Okay, I see it again. Like this is just what I feel like this is the biggest disconnect for people. They think it's annoying. Just like you said, you're like, Amazon texts you all the time. We don't care, right? Be the person that's like in front of them. And I believe people go through stages. At first, it's like, oh, I mean, I can't say this for everyone, but for me, it was like, oh, this is annoying. And then it was like, oh my gosh, there she is again. Is this even real? And it's like, I'm a hater a little bit. Is that even real? okay, maybe it's real, but like I would never. Okay, well, maybe I would, but I can't. Okay, I'm in. Like, you know what I mean? And like people will have a different time with that, right? Like some people will take years and some people will take minutes. So are you going to be the person that stays the course? Crazy. Okay. I know I said last question, but actual last question. Can you give an example of your follow-ups? Like how are you wording your follow-ups?
I'll put them in the chat. I have them as text replacement.
Amazing. Thank you.
Nope, it's not working. Of course. So they're really simple. They're nothing like crazy, like, oh my gosh, what's that amazing? It's really simple stuff. So here is here's like my first follow-up for a customer. Is that it? Yeah. There's a follow-up for a customer. Here's the one for a distributor. Like they're nothing crazy. I'm sure we've all seen them before. But it's, somehow wording, hey, I'm getting orders in. Are you ready to get yours in? Sometimes I'll use oh, it's my last discount spot. Like, I want you to have it. Like, I'll entice them with that. But then I'll message them like a few days later. I'm like, hey, putting in more orders. You want yours? So it really doesn't matter. Just like showing up and like reminding them, why do we do this? Because life is so busy. Like, I could be looking at a message from one of my girls. My girls know this too. Like I have a really bad habit of like typing and then not pressing send. So they'll emphasize their message for me, which I'm like, thank you. But like so many other people are just like that too. They could be reading your message at a stoplight. Then the light turns green and they go, and then their kids are screaming, and then like there's a turtle in the road that they have to save, and then they're home, and then they have to make dinner for their husband who's like, do you see what I'm saying? And so they're busy and they just forget. Follow up. Like you're just like their little like peekaboo, hey, reminder. And if anyone gets mad at you or thinks you're annoying, if you're making $10,000 a month, would you care what they had to say? No. So move on. Be like, okay, I'm sorry for whoever hurt you. I'll pray for you. Have a great day. Bye. Like, just move on. Just take the emotion out of it. Like, be emotional in your business, but also take the emotion out. I feel like we have this like fear and this like, oh my God, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? What are they going to do? They're not going to do anything. And if they think anything, whatever, you can't control them. If they say anything, whatever, you can't control them. Just like taking that emotion out and just letting it like brush off your shoulder. Good, bad, indifferent. Yeah, that's on them. And like whenever, everyone gets negative messages, so you're gonna get it. And honestly, at this point in time, like, did they used to bother me in the past? I'm not gonna sit here and say I've always been this way my whole business. No. In the beginning, did it bother me? Absolutely. But as time went on, I literally just realized it is a reflection of the hurt in their own life. It's not a reflection of me. So like their boss was an a-hole and like didn't let them eat lunch, and now they're hungry and cranky and they just like went off on me for no reason. I'm sorry that you're cranky and hungry and your boss sucks. Like that's not on me, right? So not letting it affect you, and like blocking. Yeah, I block everyone all the time. I don't care.
I love it. My favorite is blocking people right in the mid type,
Yes.
Right in the mid type. It's like, block, like that, too bad. Like, that's my favorite. That's my favorite activity. You guys should use it. It's like therapy, okay? Listen, this has been very good. Very great, actually. Not even good. This has been great. Dude, I appreciate your time. You're amazing. And we're just, yeah, dude, we're cheering you on. We really appreciate you taking the time to pour into us tonight. And this has been amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jess. And yeah, I'm watching you. I know Black Diamond is right around the corner for you. So congrats on everything.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.